we're going to take a look at page 393 through 396, and I am so sorry I recorded the wrong lesson earlier. I'm not sure why I did that, but let's go ahead and look at this. We're telling the difference between AM and PM. So the essential question we are supposed to learn in this lesson is how can you tell when to use AM and PM with time? All right, so Lauren's family is going hiking tomorrow at 7 o'clock. How should Lauren write the time to show that they are going in the morning, not in the evening? So let's look in the purple box. This is going to help us break down the problem and unlock it so that we can answer it. Circle the helpful information that tells about the hiking time. So the hiking time is that they're going hiking at 7, and they are also going in the morning. I'm going to circle those two pieces. What do we need to find? All right, this is what we want to find. How should Lauren write the time to show that they are going in the morning, not the evening? I'm going to write that. I'm going to write really small because I don't think I'm going to have enough room on 2 lines. How should Lauren write the time to show that they are going in the morning, not the evening? You can use a number line to show the sequence or order of events. So sequence means the order of events. It can help you understand the number of hours in a day. So the distance from one mark to the next mark is representing 1 hour. So if this is 12 o'clock midnight, this is 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and so on. Once we get to noon, it's 12 o'clock again, and then we start over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. All right, so tell the time after midnight. Midnight is 12 o'clock at night. So right here, this is midnight. This is midnight. The times after midnight, so after midnight, but before noon, are written as AM. You can see that here. These are the AM times. 7 o'clock in the morning should be written then as 7 AM. So we're going to put a capital A period, capital M period. After midnight, before noon, all of that is going to go around the whole clock, all of the hours around the whole clock. Once, those will be AM, and then it goes around the whole clock once and as PM, and then it repeats AM, PM. All right, so Lauren should write the hiking time as 7 o'clock AM. Find the mark that shows 7 o'clock on the number line above and circle that mark. So up here, here's 6 o'clock. So 1 more hour past that would be 7 o'clock. I'm going to just give that a little circle. All right, let's look at the next part here. Let's see, make sure I have that where you can see it. Okay. Callie's family is going for a canoe ride at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm going to circle those 2 things to keep those in mind. How should Callie write the time? So if noon is 12 o'clock in the daytime, the times afternoon but before midnight are written as PM. 3 o'clock in the afternoon is written as 3 o'clock PM. So here it is, this whole time afternoon and back around the whole clock until you get to midnight again, that is PM. So Kelly should write the time as 3 o'clock PM. All right, so let's think about 2 things you do in the AM hours. The AM are the time from midnight all the way up until noon. So I know that 2 things I do. I'm going to say AM. And then I'm going to list here 2 things that I do. I sleep during that time because at midnight I'm sound asleep. At least I hope to be. Sleep. And something else that I do in the AM is Zoom class. That's at 10 o'clock, and noon isn't till 12, so that is before noon. Now for the PM, I'm going to write PM. I might, let's see, I eat supper because that's in the evening. It's afternoon, but before midnight. So eat supper, and I also ride my bike. All right, so think about activities that you do after lunch. This is after lunch, and this is after and during the night from midnight up to about lunchtime, which is around noon. All right, now we're going to write the time for the activity, and this time we're going to use AM or PM, and we're going to use that based on what they are doing. So if I look at the hour, I'm looking for the big number first for the hour. It is between the 4 and the 5, so I know it has come past the 4, but it has not come past the 5. So it is still 4. And then let's count around to the minutes by 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20. It's right on that one. So it's 4:20. If I am riding my bike and it is 4:20, let's think about this. At 4:20 a.m., I mean, what time do you wake up? 6, 7? It's not 4 probably. You are still sleeping at 4:20 a.m. It's still dark outside. So this is not going to be AM, but I could ride my bicycle in the early afternoon before supper. So 4:20 is afternoon, but before midnight. I'm going to say PM here because that makes the most sense. No kids usually ride their bike at 4:20 AM. That's considered the middle of the time that you're sleeping or the middle of the night. All right, make a sandwich. All right, so let's see what time this is. It's between the 11 and 12, so I know if the hand is coming around this way, it has passed 11, but it has not gotten to 12 yet. So it is still 11 for the hour. And then let's count around from 12. 12 is 0, remember, this is the o'clock. We're going to count by 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I can't go here because that's too many. So let's count by 1. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. 11:34. All right, let's figure out if it's AM or PM. So 11:34, if it's between midnight and noon, well, I know that there is an 11:34 right before noon. Would I be preparing a sandwich just before noontime? Maybe so, because that's usually the time that I eat lunch. Or would I prepare a sandwich at 11:34 at night? Well, if we think about this being close to 12, that would be midnight. Am I going to eat at 11:34 only less than 30 minutes from midnight? Probably not. So the better guess here would be AM. I would probably make a sandwich for lunch, and this is close to noon, which is around lunchtime. All right, and then get ready for bed. All right, they already show me this, so I'm just going to copy the digital time, 8:12. If I'm getting ready for bed, do I get ready at 8:12 in the morning? Like between midnight and noon? Or in the evening between noon, after the noon, and midnight, before midnight. I'm going to say it's afternoon, but before midnight, because I go to bed in the evening. That is PM time. All right, one more here. This morning, Sam woke up at the time shown on this clock. Write the time, using AM or PM. All right, so let's figure out the time. First, I can see that this hand is getting close to the 8, but it's not quite there because it's not up to the 12 yet. So I went past 7, but I'm not to 8. I'm almost to 8. So we're going to consider this 7, and then count the minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 51, 52, 53. And this is when he woke up. So I usually wake up after midnight, but before noon. So that is in the morning, and that is an AM time. All right. Explain how you decide whether to use AM or PM when you write the time. You have to think about if the activity is after midnight but before noon. That's AM time, like we talked about over here. Or is the activity happening afternoon but before midnight? And if so, that is the PM. So a lot of times I say AM is generally considered morning, and PM is generally considered night, but I do have to remember that even though this time over here, the early morning, is still really technically considered morning, it is still during the time that you sleep, because I don't wake up till 7 or 6 or 5 o'clock, somewhere in here. So even though midnight is still morning, I might be sleeping part of this time, and I will be sleeping part of this time. So I really do sleep part of the time in the PM and part of the time in the AM. All right, so don't just think about it as, well, what time am I sleeping? Because there's more to it than just that. All right, for today, you're going to be doing on your own all of page 395. We're going to skip the hot. And then we're going to go over here and we're going to catch these bottom two problems, 19 and 20, and that's going to be it. All right, there we go. I will talk to you later.